What is up, guys? Your boy Revan here today, still on vacation but still to talk about some news. So regionals dates for 2020 season have been announced. Like, all the dates are gonna appear here, but I'm gonna read them all. Don't worry about that, but I want to talk about them as we're gonna read where they are, because as you can see, bam, that's the list. There is not that many. We've got 2 in Europe and we've got only around 8 standard in the United States and 6 expanded in the United States. Of course, there might be some of them announced for Australia and Latin America. Definitely there are still special events not announced and international championships not announced. But when I look at that, especially from the Europe point of view, because the European guys, we've received the 2 regionals in September. One are in United Kingdom in Sheffield, and that is September 7th and 8th. Those are my birthday, by the way, September 8th. And next we've got in Cologne, on Köln, depending on how you want to pronounce that, and it's September 28th. They're both in September, and that's kind of my problem. I hope they're gonna announce more soon and that are not so close to each other, because really, they're worlds. Then you got back-to-back regionals, and that's really tough for players to just go there back-to-back, and the travel costs are, well, they are big for European guys, especially from countries like Poland that I am, that we don't have the euro as the currency, but we still are the part of Europe. And of course, United States, let's read the dates here. We've got September 28th as well. We've got the start with Atlantic City, New Jersey. Then we have October 11th. We've got Collinsville, Tennessee, I believe. I'm trying to figure out those letters. November 2nd, of course, those are 2 standard. Then we have November 2nd. We've got Richmond. I think that's Virginia. I'm not sure. That's expanded. Then we got November 8th, we've got Portland, Oregon, expanded as well. December 7th, San Diego, California, of course standard because that's San Diego. But then on January 17th, Dallas, Texas, expanded. February, Collinsville, Illinois, I believe that is, expanded again. So you can see there are almost like 2 to 3 months without standard in the United States. Of course, we might see the standard there in Europe. We might see the standard around special events in Australia, maybe in Latin America. But let's just read there. March 13th, Mississauga, Ontario. I think that's Ontario, Canada, I believe. That's standard. I might be wrong here. Then we got March 20th, we've got Charlotte, North Carolina, expanded. April 4th, Salt Lake City, Utah, expanded. Again, 2 months of expanded there. And then we go to the last portion of the United States where there's only standard. We've got May 9th, it's Albany, NY, I think that's New York, but I'm not sure, so I don't want to make a mistake. That's standard. May 22nd, Santa Clara, standard. May 22nd again with Fort Wayne, standard. So we got 2 at the same date. And June 5th, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, standard. It's quite weird that when the new set comes out, I don't know if you noticed that, but around the new set we have especially in the January-February window, there's 2 months of no standard at all. There's only expanded, and that's where the Sword and Shield comes out, which is quite interesting. That when the Sword and Shield comes out, we'll not have a lot of standard. Of course, even if you look at the rest of this year, only 3-4 standard, 2 in America, 2 in Europe. Quite interesting, right, for the rest of the year. And it's still like July, and there's still almost half a year to go. I don't know if that's their way to shift the meta, maybe to do something with the meta. But I definitely know one thing. They are putting more and more focus on you gaining those championship points, not only on those during those regionals, but during your weekly leagues and league challenges and league cups. Because from what you've seen, we will not have and we do not have, or maybe they're going to change it because that's the PCI, but we do not have we're not getting points quarterly anymore, right? So they're not like two best finishes, two best cup finishes. No, like all the points you gather, they are accumulated, are combined. And I've talked about it a lot on stream. I've talked about two different tournament organizers. I've talked about it with different people. Again, that was a change that was made without even like telling us. So I don't know if they're not going to change it back. So at the time, you can take it with a pinch of salt because we don't know if they're going to take it back or not. But putting all that effort into a league, it's good and bad. Like, one, you can be a nice consistent player throughout the whole year, and maybe you're from a small town. There's not really like you can't afford going to regionals or internationals, so you have the small league, and you finally have a chance to go onto the grandest stage of them all. Fantastic. I like that idea. I like people that are like from smaller places or the countries that do not have a huge Pokemon TCG base being still able to go to Worlds. I like that. I'm a fan of that, and if you're a consistent good player, you will make it. It's fantastic, right? It works for me, for example, because I have to around me there's almost nothing, so it's really good to have something like that. And I can tell you that this kind of impacted also the players in our league, because they're like, well, wait, I can go, wait, Raven, I can go there? Like, by league? I can just be good at league cups and challenges at this league, and wow. So it is like an additional motivation for those leagues in the places that they don't have anything around them. But I thought about it for a little bit, and I talked about it with my German friends, and the fact that if there are many different leagues, and one person can gain a ton of points during only 1 month or period of 3 months, and then just not care at all, it's also kind of weird, and that is a little bit annoying, especially for you guys probably in States, because you have that's what I'm assuming. I've never been to States, but that's what I'm assuming. You have definitely more local game stores than I do, right? And that sells and have Pokemon leagues. So definitely that is going to be something that, well, it might it might go different ways, because I think there is a room for really weird interactions in between people. There might be certain I don't want to say pros, but there might be certain players that might start leagues, maybe not now but in the near future, because again, you have to have a league for 3 months to receive a challenge and 3 more months to receive a cup. So that's a half a year of preparation. But for the future, it might actually push people to be like, you know what, I'm gonna start my own league. All I need is 4 players, and I'm gonna just have tons of points, and every single year I'm gonna be there, baby. So that's a little bit what I'm afraid of. But again, for places like Australia, Europe, Latin America, I'm gonna assume that is really helpful. In States or places that have a tons of local game stores, definitely it's gonna be really weird. Plus, I think this little bit change, it kind of shows in those in those states that they're gonna focus a little bit less on those regionals, right? Because again, organizing something like that costs money, so they may be cutting some costs, and they are just taking away certain things from regionals. That's why we have double dates, right? So we got double dates on the standard on September 28th, for example. We got Europe, and we've got Atlantic City, I believe that is, or Atlanta, but we got United States. So to be fair, those are only 3 standard tournaments for the rest of the year. Weird, right? And you start thinking about it more and more and more, and you go well, I understand helping local games, I understand bringing back more and more people to the stores, but then the stores as well, they have to communicate even more with each other to not duplicate the dates, so they can maximize on those events. Of course, it promotes the game, it makes everyone be like, oh wait, I can go there. It sells you that dream of going there, but at the same time there is a room for cheating, there is a room to go around the system, and I don't like that at all. And there are certain people that are pissed about it, and I'm not gonna lie, they are angry. Am I angry about it right now? As of right now, having only 2 European regionals in 1 month, yes. That is something that is really, really annoying, especially if it comes to travel cost. I hope they're gonna announce something for December. Maybe they will not make a mistake of last year, February or March. I don't remember, but the con, like the originals in Cannes, or that was a special event, I don't remember, was at the same date as the film festival. So the prices of the hotels were super high, and that was just a no-go for many players, right? I have to count Kovac as well into the cost of us going, so that's kind of weird. But guys, what do you think about those dates? Do you think those dates are really good? Having a little bit less regionals right now announced, and more in the future, because of course we will definitely have more in the future being announced, but that's just that's the first announcement. But what do you guys think about that? Don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more news. Don't forget to check me out live on Twitch. It's Raven called Snatchku, and yeah, don't forget there's a giveaway going with Unified Minds packs, and also there is going to be a giveaway at 400 subscribers, and I'm gonna have a really nice card giveaway at 500 subs. So thank you so much for watching. Raven loves ya. Bye. See you at the regionals, right?